Good afternoon and welcome to the City Council meeting for the City of International Falls for Monday, April the 4th. I would ask all to please arise and pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I ask the administrator to note the roll call with all members of the council present. Move to the agenda, and we have one addition, and that for consideration is a gambling permit for the International Falls Recreation Hockey Association. What is your pleasure with the addition?
I'll move.
And second.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Jacksaw. Discussion on the addition? Can we accept that as also the approval of the agenda then too, if we add that?
Yes.
Okay. Further discussion? All question?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, yes, motion is carried. Addition is approved and the agenda is approved. Go to the minutes of the Monday, March the 21st, regular City Council meeting. Your pleasure with the minutes.
Move to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve the minutes of March 21st.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Droba. Question on the motion or the minutes? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Minutes are approved. Thank you. We'll go to the resolution on the payment of claims. And we have transfer to fund number 101 from the lodging fund, number 812, $98.81. We have accounts payable claims of City of International Falls of $232,657.22. We have the 2% Minnesota Care Tax ambulance service payment of $46,550.95. and the Airport Commission claim of $69,036.21. Included in the resolution on the second page, just to for clarification, the total amount with the penalty and interest is $46,550.95. The resolution also, at the very end, asks that the city administrator would be authorized to file a request for the abatement of the penalty, which would amount to $7,775.45. Your pleasure with the resolution. Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Kaler. Discussion on the motion or the resolution to transfer and to make the payment of those claims. Question?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted. Approved the transfer and the payment of claims. Thank you. Go to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that is not on the agenda that wishes to approach the council at this time?
Mayor, council members, my name is Alyssa Hackenmuller. I just, last month, the regularly scheduled EDA meeting, it's usually scheduled for the fourth Monday of the month. I found out after the fact it had happened after one of the regular city council meetings. On the website, it's still scheduled for the fourth Mondays of every month. I'm just wondering if that will be a permanent change or if we will continue meeting.
The change that'll be after the second city council meeting of the month.
After the second city council meeting. Okay, I would advise that you change your website.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
over a month now, and it's still the same. There's 2 vehicles parked in the yard there. I think it's today, and then there was another one just on the same block. You got a whole pile of garbage there and buckets, and he's been there like that every month you drive by there, and he hasn't hauled away. And on our way over here tonight, there was a pickup on ahead of us, and it pulled off on 9th Avenue, and that box is bent like this here, and bent right up towards the truck going like this. It's up against the cab, and the other side was back in the way down, and there's a rusted old thing. Driving around the other day on the street. I'll give it to you this. Finally, and then he turned off there just on the 9th Avenue, and we're on the way up here. So we swung around the block and come back with the license plate number. It looks like the frame is bent.
Very good. I did receive your photos, and I've sat down and talked with Kelly Myers, building inspector, and on the one address of 705 8th Street, Kelly's looking at both the garbage there and a possible condemnation of the building. He's working on that right now. And on the one at 719, he will be making a call on that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, if they look after them, well, then we'll continue on, go around, take some pictures.
Good.
Much more.
Thank you.
Out there.
We will clean up the blight.
And our neighbor in the alley, he used to have a garbage bucket out there, but now he don't, for the last month or 2. He don't have a garbage bucket out there, so maybe he's storing it in his van, I don't know.
Well, keep an eye on him.
It's up there, you can't see.
Very good.
Awful muddy yard.
Thank you.
Chief has something there.
I just want to go on record and say, when it dries up, probably in May, I'll be going around and addressing the blight vehicles. So until then, I am aware there's a lot of every year blight vehicles, but when the weather permits, we'll go around, we'll take care of them.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience?
For Gustafson, owner of the Cater for You, and I was wondering if I could request use of the Smoky Bear Park during shutdown to have my new commercially licensed vending truck and serve to the mill workers.
And you already have your license for operation, and so you're asking to be allowed to
Use the park
also?
Yep.
Okay.
And I have the permit also for the city.
Okay.
That license.
The agenda is number 3.
No, that's a different one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Council's pleasure with the request to use Smoky Bear Park during the outage.
I'd move to allow it.
Motion by Councillor Briggs. Second by Councillor Jackson to approve the use. Question on the motion.
Is all the paperwork filed downstairs?
The permit and everything? Yep.
Everything?
License for operation in the community.
With timing and everything, I told her the best option would be to come and talk with council. I will have her complete the application. Her annual itinerant restaurant license already with the City of International. I obviously have application. Yeah.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Just hope you have a lot of hungry people that day.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Permit is granted. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else in the audience that wishes to approach the council that's not on the agenda? There'll be another opportunity at the end of the meeting also. Thank you. We'll go to the opening of quotes, and under item 1, we have approving the low quote of $2,822.71 from Third Party Solutions HP Incorporated for the G-Tech portable computer for the ambulance.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Kaler to accept the low quote.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Jacksaw. Discussion on the motion or the quote? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried and low quote is approved. Thank you. Item 2 under the opening of quotes is to approve the low quote of $4,080 for 12 sets of Lakeland 6-ounce Nomex 2-piece wildland gear from Alex Air Apparatus. $2,000 of this will be reimbursed from a DNR grant. Motion by Councillor Groba to accept the low quote of $4,080.
Okay.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Discussion?
So this gear is used for fires in the wilderness?
Grass fires and...
We have them in the city. Yeah, we did have one.
Yes, we had
by
one
the
last
airport.
year.
We almost burned down the town last year at this time.
I just want, okay.
Further questions or discussion? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried, and the quote is accepted. Thank you. Move to the consent agenda, and we have the approval request for the 2016 license renewal for O for Sweet Catering. This is an itinerant restaurant.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Kaler. Discussion on the, no discussion on consent agenda, I'm sorry. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried, and the restaurant license is approved. Thank you. Move to new business, and we have item 1, the authorization to close 4th Avenue from 3rd Street to 2nd Street on June 11, 2016 for the Viking Bar Annual Street Dance. The Smiths were not able to be here this evening. They said this is their 4th event that they have had, and they also have food served by a number of the vendors. So the request is before you.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Kaler, no, Councillor Jacksaw, and second by Councillor Droba.
Hard to believe I kept my mouth shut.
We have a motion by Councillor Jacksaw, second by Councillor Droba to approve the closing of the street on 4th Avenue from 2nd to 3rd Street. Discussion? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion is carried, and the approval is given to close the street. Thank you. Item number 2 is International Falls Public Library Promotional Campaign, April 25 through 30, 2016. Diane Adams and Board Member Dick Peterson.
So, the library board and staff are doing a campaign called Get Carded. The 25th, everyone would be involved. Part of that is we are encouraging everyone to get library cards, and we noticed that 3 of you do not have cards. So I'm here, and part of the campaign.
I know I have one.
Yes, you do. Part of the campaign is that we can now do cards remotely. So I can, if I can get your birth date. Oh no, I lost it.
Uh-oh.
Where's my line?
Your computer doesn't go back that old.
Sure it does. Date of birth?
7/16/42.
You're right.
No.
Okay.
Haven't had it taken away.
Somewhere there.
Brand new system that we now have the ability to do
Drop one off.
cards remotely. Sign that.
Sign it?
Yep, it's a permanent pen. And then I hope that you will all come to the library and use the library. But actually, you don't even have to come physically to the library. We have oodles and oodles of resources available. Online, 24 hours a day. That is your card.
Okay.
It comes with a keychain card, so you can actually break that apart and get
Use of the,
use online resources.
Diane, I read somewhere, heard somewhere that Americans as a group read so little that if you read 3 books on one subject, you'd be considered a national expert.
Wow. This gives just a little bit of information about kind of our online resources. We have ebooks, so you can read books online. You can read them on your phone. You can read them on a computer. You can read them just about anywhere.
That was almost like a Dr. Seuss book.
It was. The other thing, so anyways, this particular week, April 25th through 30th, we will be out in the community. We'll be at County Market, we'll be at Super One, we'll be at Coffee Landing. And then we have the unique opportunity, the state of Minnesota, for the 2nd year now, has done something called Once Upon a Reader. And the book this year is called 10 Pigs, An Epic Bath Adventure. It's a picture book, and the focus is on getting community members reading and kids reading. And last year, they had what they called the Traveling Trunk Show, and the author and an illustrator went around with, and the book was about cow. It was called Moo. And they did an interactive show for preschoolers around the state. Well, as we often know, their definition of state is very small. And the entire North Arrowhead region and Northeast region, we got a total of 2 shows up here. We all made major ruckus and said, that's not acceptable. So the Arrowhead this year has 7, and we get one of them. And so Thursday, April 28th at 6 p.m. at Falls Elementary School, the 10 Pigs Traveling Trunk Show will be coming to town, and we will be there doing library cards and helping kids. Can I get you a card?
Well, certainly. 4-3.
Thank you, Diane, and the board for your passion. I know as director, Diane's been very passionate in promoting reading, especially among the youth. But
Yeah, I was able to see some of this going on. In the library, I mean.
Mine must have expired 40 years ago.
Yeah, mine just did.
So, use it.
You know, I subscribe to Consumer Reports for something like $6 a month, and I can get it online free at the library. So why am I paying? I can give you the $6, the library, as a donation, right? Instead of paying $6 a month. Yeah. Online.
Okay. I'll have to do some adding to, if you want to keep going.
You got carded.
I got carded.
This is the most exciting thing that's happened to me today.
The nice thing about the promotions we're in town, we will have iPads and we'll be able to
exciting.
I'll admit, kids are much easier to put their dates in because I don't have to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
Cynthia and Harley already have cards.
And I am going to give you my subscription to Consumer Reports and use the libraries.
Alrighty.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you the money.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Dick, and thank you to the library board members for this program and for the opportunity to get carded. And we would encourage all citizens to get carded and be members of the Falls Public Library. Thank you. Item 3 under new business, and that's a request to use Smoky Bear Park for the annual mill shutdown by O for Sweet Catering. Pleasure.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Droba to approve. Second by Councillor Jacksaw. Question on the motion or the request? Question.
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion is carried and the request is approved. Thank you. Item number 4 is the addition to the agenda, and that's the resolution approving the lease and premises permit application for lawful gambling by the International Falls Recreation Hockey Association at the Border Bar.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Kaler to approve.
Second.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Discussion on the motion or the resolution? Question.
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes, motion is carried. Gambling permit is approved. Thank you. Item 5 on the new business agenda, authorizing the hiring of part-time patrol officers. That's the recommendation of the police chief, Musich. Chief.
At our earlier meeting, I explained that we were losing 3 part-time patrol officers for the city. One was hired by St. Louis County, one was hired full-time by Couchiching County, and we are just going to be losing an officer to the DNR as a game warden. So one of the part-time officers for the county can work an occasional shift, the other 2 can't work at all. So losing these, basically losing these 3 officers that worked a lot of shifts, it leaves obvious vacancy. We just had a test on the 29th of March, There's 4 people on the list, and I would like to recommend hire the top 3 on the list. And there might be a need when I retire in July that they might have to hire the 4th also, but for right now I'd like to recommend hiring 3 part-time officers. These 3 part-time officers already work for the county, so, and this is normal, we share officers. The vacations, sick leave, and extra shifts.
3 of the 4 are county deputies, or all 4 county deputies?
3 that I'm recommending to hire, the top 3 are already work for the county.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
I have a motion first to approve the...
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve the part-time patrolman for the City of International Falls, Brett Musich, Jill Ulrich, and Kalen Schneider. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Droba. Councillor Jacksaw.
Yeah, when you split positions between the county and the city, does the city pay for just the base wage and not the benefits, or how does that work?
Part-time, they're not entitled to
they're not
the
entitled. Okay.
benefits.
Thank you, I forgot that. Okay.
And that's per the union contract, that they're not eligible for benefits.
You have to work so many hours and then you can ask to join the union, which is...
Further questions or discussion with regard to the motion to hire part-time patrol officers as recommended by the Civil Service Commission and Chief Musich? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, yes. Motion is carried and the hiring of the part-time officers is approved. Thank you. Chief? Item number 6, right now, the paramedic, Lisa Mortensen, is having discussions with the chief and possibly could reconsider this resignation. So I'm going to ask that we just not take any action on that at this time and allow the discussions with Chief Manassa and the paramedic to continue. Move to item 7 on the new business agenda, and that's to approve appointing Brianna Harmel as an EMTB to the ambulance service roster.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve the addition.
Second.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Discussion on the motion or the appointment? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote yes, motion is carried, and the appointment of Brianna Harmel is approved. Thank you. Item number 8 is a resolution in support of Voyage Forward. Councillor Jacksaw.
Yes, I'll move the resolution.
Motion by Councillor Jacksaw to approve the resolution in support of Voyage Forward.
Second.
Second by Councillor Briggs. Discussion on the motion.
Mayor, I think at this time it behooves us to reinforce the message that the city stands behind the Voyage Forward effort and the citizen involvement that comes with it. So that's the spirit that this resolution is offered.
Well, thank you. I think it's certainly a reasonable resolution. I think it would have been more appropriate to have one from the city and county together. I really think that it's been a joint effort by the city and county, and I really think that that's what the resolution should have come from both bodies. And so rather than one doing something and not the other one. So I guess I would prefer to see a joint resolution at this time. So show that we work together with the county.
I think that's good too, that show that we work together with the county and as a city, and I was on the ground floor of this when this all started, and I know the investment we have, but when I read about the last KEDA meetings in the paper, it looks like we're back to where we were, starting to bog down, where we can't get committees formed, and we have these people that have volunteered up all their time and put in all this effort, and we're having problems even starting committees to look into the what's going on, that unless I'm reading stuff wrong in the paper, you know, and if that's going to be the central organization, which we decided was going to be, I think we got to get on board and start getting these committees that are already set up through Voyage Forward, or otherwise it's a waste of money, all this money we spent, and quit getting bogged down with what's been going on forever, it seems like, with different fractions, and some want the committees, some don't for this reason or that reason. We have these people, they volunteered all their time. I say we go for it and use this plan, or we wasted like $200,000.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think that the situation of having committees authorized is just a matter of what does the structure look like and how is it going to operate, and that's all it is. Just trying to understand how these Destiny Driver teams are going to move forward and who they're going to report to, and are we going to be able to sustain them because of the cost. So that's what it's all about. It's not about who's going to be in charge or anything else. So.
Well, maybe it's because I'm a little suspicious from the past history over the years of different things have been tried and always fail. And I'll take your word that that's what's going on. I just want you to know that we are paying attention.
Good.
There is room to certainly have the county pass this resolution. This does not stop us from passing this resolution today. We can certainly put it on the county agenda at their, it's too late for tomorrow. It'll have to be the next Tuesday from tomorrow to be able to have them act on this. So I think this is certainly going to be well received by the county board. If the spirit is, as you say, at KEDA, it shouldn't be an issue at all. Therefore, I think we should move forward and do our part now and bring this to the county board in the middle of April.
I want to kind of add on what Pete had said, because I was at the KEDA meeting where the discussion came up. I also sit on the ERT board, and I believe in the Voyage Forward effort. My only concern with adopting this without being a joint resolution with the county at this time is because the Destiny drivers haven't been hammered out. I mean, they have 10 Destiny drivers, 8 of them are true Destiny drivers, and 2 of them are organizational. And I have met with Mike Welcome to kind of discuss parts of it, and I've also met with ERT where we've had discussions about it, and I've discussed it with KEDA, and there is one Destiny driver that I really want to see hammered out and have a working plan before I can truly endorse the Destiny drivers. Everything else on this page is fine. If it said right now 9 of the 10 Destiny drivers, I'd be really good with it. But I really want to know what that organizational model looks at, like how KEDA fits into that plan, how the City of International Falls fits into that plan, how the county fits in, and how the citizen engagement fits in. So I'm all for Voyage Forward. I have that one concern on adopting this as a resolution today.
I think I've been to enough of the meetings to show support for the Voyage Forward effort, and the Destiny drivers, I just would like to have a clear understanding of what the structure is and how that is going to be going forward. So.
The council on this?
Merrill?
Board Merrill Director at Backus and also one of the Voyage Forward stewards, and I've worked on this since September of 2014, as have dozens of other community people across the county. Just to speak to what you're looking at this evening here, I appreciate the fact that somebody from the council, Councilor Jackson, has brought this before you, and I guess I would encourage you to adopt the resolution. Mike Welcome, who a number of you know, has already talked to a councilor from the Rainier City Council, and I believe they'll be looking at this in the near future as well. We've discussed this, and rather than just a International Falls Koochiching County resolution adoption, every city in the county needs to adopt this if it's truly going to be implemented, along with the county as well. All the Destiny drivers are laid out. There are 10 of them. They're going to be an ongoing process. You know, I don't envision anything's going to be fleshed out entirely in the next few weeks or anything. At least one of the driver teams has met already. 2 more will meet this week. I'm not sure where all the other ones are at right at the moment, but I guess, you know, having sat here at some EDA meetings and council meetings and heard the council talk about wanting to support Voyage Forward, want to see what Voyage Forward does in support of it and so on, I would urge you to adopt the resolution. Our hope is that all the cities in the county will do that, and the county board will do it as well. So I guess that's where I'm coming from right now. You may not see, you know, final results from these drivers for months or even years to come. You know, it's a long process to go on where we've come to at this point. So I think this would be important for the council, other city councils across the county, and the county board also, to show real support at this point. The 4 questions have been asked, the surveys have been done, 2 huge public meetings have been held, Destiny drivers have been developed, there are champions in line for all of those drivers. I think it's time for the cities to get on board officially, and the county board as well. So I'd encourage you to adopt the resolution.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted. Thank you. Move to reports of boards, committees, and department heads, and city administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything specifically as the city administrator, but in the fire chief's absence, I'd like to just briefly go over his report that was handed out earlier at the meeting. He is ill tonight and couldn't be here. For April 2016, the fire department, actually for the month of March, they had 4 fire department call-outs. There were 4 responses in the city. Of those 4 city responses, 1 was a structure fire, and 1 was an alarm activation. There was 0 rural fire responses for the month of March, and you can see that the fire chief responded to 3 carbon monoxide phone calls and replaced those carbon monoxide detectors. There was 4 smoke scares, and the chief responded to all 4 of those, and then 1 CN train fill by the fire department. They had a meeting for regular business on 3/17, did some training regarding hazmat awareness, and then they also had the autism group visit the fire station for a tour of the fire station. March for the ambulance, we had for 2016, we had 81 911 calls, 53 transfers for a total of 134 calls. And that brings us year-to-date 2016 at 380 for the first 3 months out of the year. And that would put us in line with meeting or exceeding what we had last year, which is about 1,528 for the whole year. The ambulance staff had a monthly meeting and training on the 9th of March. They had a regular business meeting, and then their training was related to bleeding and shock treatment. So that's the fire and ambulance department report for March.
Thank you, City Administrator, and thank you to the Chief for that report. City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Merrick. I was in Colorado last week with one of the council members, and we were discussing issues facing the council. Unfortunately, an injury cut our discussion short, but I found it to be very productive. That's my only report.
Looks like you maybe weren't getting your way. Yeah.
Thank you, City Attorney. Chief Musich.
Mayor and Council, March activity for the International Falls Police Department. We had firearms training system, and what that is Hibbing does our training, the Hibbing College, and they come up here and they actually set up like a movie screen in the garage at the law enforcement center, and you have a shotgun and a handgun, and you interact with the screen. You watch scenarios, and they can tell where your shots are fired on that screen. It's a pretty neat system. Taser recertification, I think everybody knows what tasers are nowadays. We have to train with all the equipment that we carry on our belt every year. We had CPR training. I'd like to thank the chief and his crew for putting on the training. And actually, between 2 police officers and the paramedics, they had a save a week ago, they saved a citizen in town, shocking the person. But we're going to be getting awards for our officers and the paramedics for that life-saving effort. I had a chiefs meeting in Eveleth at the end of the month. Civil Service Commission, I'd like to thank them, Tim Everson, Dave Peterson, and Marty Cody. They're the ones that put on the part-time peace officers test, and also Captain Lynch was involved with the exam. Officer Dane Olson went and attended training at the college, the Responsible Serving. That's the class where they teach individuals in the community to actually go around and teach the safe serving on serving people alcohol at the bars and what to look for in not serving people that have had too much to drink. Officer DeBenedette and Officer Koscheck became DMT certified operators, and what that is that's what you used to hear the oxalizer, it's called a DMT now, Data Master Technology, so they're operators for the alcohol detection system. Officer Koscheck attended basic field training officer course in Hermantown. We're going to try to bring our field training up to modern times. We haven't redone our policy on field training new officers in quite some time. A lot of liabilities in police work nowadays, so we're going to update those procedures. And I ended up ordering the new Ford SUV squad car from Worley's, and usually takes about 2 months to receive that. General calls for the month, 326. Medical assist, 33. Agency assist, 3. Traffic stops, 20. Those are just the warning stops. And the initial complaint calls generated 84 for a total of 466 for the month. Questions? Go ahead.
Thank you, and congratulations to your officers on the life-saving. Certainly wonderful to hear that. Questions for Chief Musich on his report? A lot of activity, a lot of officer training, which is wonderful to see. And thank you for the report. What are the reports of the mayor, council committees, boards, and commissions? Just quickly run through, I gave a welcome to the border conference on emergency planning at the American. That was very well attended from both sides of the border. A lot of Canadian folks came and from all over the state, including the head of the TSA. Participated in the healthcare initiative group at Rainy River Community College. Councillor Droba and I were part of the Economic Response Leadership Team, and we had a conference call with the Arrowhead Regional Development Commission and Northspan with regard to the finances of Voyage Forward, and it appears that we may have a little bit of money left from the funds that the city and county both contributed to that effort. Sent a letter to the Falls Police Civil Service Commission to begin the process of establishing a panel for Chief of Police, given Chief Musage's letter of retirement. Airport Commission meeting, the terminal bid process continues to move forward. They'll be opening bids on April the 6th. Also, the airport will be doing a runway repair program this summer, and the funds from that are coming from the City of Orr, who has got unused airport monies. Here last Tuesday, we had a meeting with MnDOT District Engineer Dwayne Hill, Project Engineer Brian Larson. The discussion was primarily around Highway 53 and then the Gateway corridor into the City of International Falls. And along with Councilor Droba, participated in the Autism Walk on Saturday. Very well attended activity. Further reports by Mayor, Council committees.
May I piggyback on
Please.
the Autism Walk? This last Saturday was the Autism Walk, and I don't know how I got as involved in it as I did, but it was an amazing turnout. The person that started it was Jennifer Hill, and she thought she was going to get 13 to 20 people, and she got almost 60 to 70 people, and we filled Main Street with the walk. And because of the poor weather, they weren't able to use Smoky Bear Park, so they adapted and overcame, and they ended up going to the First Assembly of God, where they ended up having a great time, and it was a wonderful event put on by someone who's trying to do something in our community, and I want to give her all the credit I possibly can for that. And secondly, I was at the college mentoring event a couple weeks ago that was put on at Rainy River, and that was a really, really neat event as well. It ended up having, I don't know how many kids, but we had, at our table, we had 4 or 5 people that stopped in just to talk about local government. I was with Mr. Foss from the healthcare field for the county, and again, a wonderful event that was put on in our community to try to help people advance themselves, and I think it was just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Droba.
I would like to call the council's attention to the minutes of the residential, commercial advisory, building advisory committee, and we are working on plans that might alleviate some of the blight issues, and the plan is laid out in the minutes. So we'll be coming to the council. Our chair is here, Joe Schwartz. Plan to come to the council in the near future and present the plan. And in addition, we had a rec commission meeting, budget and finance. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Further reports? Thank you. We'll move to the audience. Dorothy?
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and the councilors and the audience here. I'd like to pick up on the subject matter here of Voyage Forward here. I'm suffering from a little bit of ignorance about how this developed and what kind of a structure it has. Is it a 501?
Oh,
okay. Well, what is it then?
It's a joint effort. After the announcement by Boise Paper that they would be shuttering 2 paper machines and the off-machine coder.
Okay, that became the genesis of it then.
Members of the City Council and the County Board came together and agreed that it should be a joint effort.
Okay.
And so we put together some monies, and were able to secure a grant from the Department of Commerce of $200,000 and
$200,000 for the entire.
For that, and we matched it with $200,000.
Okay. How much has the city provided at this point in time? Not counting any grants that come through the secondary flow, but just city money.
Would be about 100,000. There could be a little bit more.
Okay.
We're getting the final accounting done right now.
Okay, who has control of the checkbook?
The Arrowhead Regional Development Commission, because it's necessary under the Department of Commerce to have a regional commission leading that effort.
And where are their headquarters?
In Duluth, Minnesota.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I have a better understanding here now. Of course, Destiny Drivers is kind of a, well, it's what I call an innocuous type of description, because you can have a Destiny driven down below, or you can have a Destiny driven above here. The assumption here, of course, would be that we have a Destiny Drivers that want to bring us forward, not only economically, but through the social area. I'm not basically opposed to this. Here, I'm wondering what the goal is. If they've spent $200,000, how much have they got left? Because they keep asking for more money here, and pats on the back here from the council. So I'm wondering here, how long is this going to go on? I believe Councilor Kaler touched upon this. And if it's in the area of economic development, we have a proliferation here of units throughout the governmental areas here that are located, that are concentrating on this. So I don't even know the people that are involved in it, other than Mr. Welcome. I've seen him, and then a cheerleader from Duluth, Lasky, that came up here. Beyond that, it's something that has taken the form primarily of advertisement and wanting support. And I've been to 2 of these meetings here now, and I come across as not knowing a lot more than I started with here. So anyway, I see where we're going here on this. Completely different subject matter. I'd like to get a blank copy of the Data Practices Act form that the city uses here. And so if I can pick it up here today, realizing it's after business hours here, I'm going to be gone tomorrow here, but if it's not possible, just mail it to me and I'll give me my address.
A blank copy of the Data Practices Act or the
form?
The form.
The form.
Thank you.
That should be readily available. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you. Further, I would like to approach the council at this time. Thank you. Correspondence in the packet today from the North Cooch Sanitary District, and as Councilor Jacksaw said, the Residential and Commercial Building Advisory Committee meeting minutes. The next meeting of the City Council will be Monday, April 18th at 4:30 p.m., followed by the International Falls EDA meeting. Thank you. There's no further business to come. Councilor Droba.
Do we have a meeting scheduled for that Thursday, or that would be next week, correct?
Mr. Mayor.
Please.
We haven't confirmed a meeting date. I just visited prior to the meeting with Councilor Briggs, who would not be able to meet at all next week. So if the council wants to select a date as early as Friday of this week to meet with the Rural Fire Protection Association as a committee of the whole, we would meet with them, or we can meet without Councilor Briggs, but he has been on the negotiating committees. Right now I have 3 of the 5 of you, and I think Councilor Kaler said he would try and meet whenever we scheduled something. So
Friday this week?
Friday of this week would be the earliest date that we could do it, if we can get everybody. And Brian would still be here until Saturday.
And the Rural Fire Protection Board can be here?
They wanted us to set a date, and then they would do what they could to get as many people as possible.
And their attorney?
That's correct.
All right, so Friday at?
Anytime Friday morning would be fine, or anytime Friday is open. That's whether or not we can get how many people we can get here to attend.
Right.
I'm available afternoon.
Friday, the 8th. Afternoon?
Yeah. I can make do if it's early enough.
If I can make it 12:30, yeah.
12:30 Friday?
12:30 Friday, April the 8th, for a meeting with the Rural Fire Protection Association. Counselor, City Attorney?
I can make it in the afternoon. I've got a trial in the morning, but I should be done by noon.
Okay, so 12:30 would work. All right. Contact Rural Fire Protection and their attorney.
First thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you. All right. Scheduled. Further to come before the council.
Assuming it's here, right, of course?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing, the chair would declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.